Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in to this week's yoga class. We are going to do a 30-minute Vinyasa flow with an attention to side body and inner thighs. When you're ready, go ahead and take a comfortable seated position on your yoga mat. Sit really tall, roll your shoulders back, close your eyes, and tilt your chin until you feel that it's parallel with the ground. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of energy, then turn your palms up to the sky. Otherwise, if you feel really good, like you have enough energy, bring your hands together, cupping your hands like this, and let your thumbs touch. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose, making your inhales and exhales of equal length. So go for at least between 3 to 5 seconds. And we'll just do 5 breaths here, finding your center, letting go of anything that happened earlier, anything you have to do later, entering into the present moment. Set an intention for your practice today. And then when you're ready, lift your arms up to the sky and look up. As you exhale, relax your shoulders away from your ears, but reach your fingers up to the sky, look up even more. And then as you inhale, lift your arms even more, just the slightest bit more, until you feel that you're finding space between your ribs. And then as you exhale, interlace your fingers, bring the chin to the chest, hands behind your head. Your elbows can droop in, and just ever so gently bring your head down, feeling a nice stretch in the back of the neck. As you inhale, open up. Open the elbows as much as you possibly can, and then as you exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Just going to turn so you can see me better. On your next inhale, spread your left fingers out away from you, lift your right arm up to the sky, and then lean over, lean over, lean over. So keep your right hip down on the ground. Look out underneath your arm, so you're spinning your left ribs up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bring your right shoulder down away from your ear. Activate your fingers, make your arm long and strong. Breathe until you can feel the space growing between your ribs. And as you inhale, rise up to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Make your left arm long and strong. Relax the shoulder away from your ear. Spin your right ribs up to the sky. Open up the heart a little bit. And then breathe until you can find space between your ribs. Beginning to open up and awaken the whole side body. As you inhale, rise up to center. And as you exhale, tip forward onto all fours. Just going to do a couple cat-cow poses to open up the front body. So as you inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, and as you exhale, round the back, push the mat away, lower your head. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Then on your next inhale, rise up for downward facing dog. Push the mat away. Invite your heels to come down to the ground, but don't worry if they don't get there. Let your head hang heavy, no tension in your neck. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg high and send the right foot to the front of the mat. Bring your left knee down and lift your right arm. You're on your left fingertips. And as you inhale, rotate the arms so your left arm is out in front. And then maybe let your right fingers trickle back and lift your left arm. As you exhale, windmill your arms down. Let's meet in downward facing dog. You can go right there, or you can move through your vinyasa. And once you come into downward facing dog, we're going to breathe here for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, lift your left leg high. Slowly step forward to the front of the mat. Bring the right knee down. As you inhale, rise onto the right fingers, lift your left arm, and look up. From here, rotate your arms so the right arm is out in front, left arm back behind you. Maybe bring your left fingers down to the right leg, lift your right arm. Breathing into the whole front body, the whole right side body. And then when you're ready, windmill your arms down. Move through your vinyasa or meet directly in downward facing dog. Now fire up the core a little bit, so lift your right leg. And then bring shoulders over wrists, knee into forehead. As you inhale, take 3-legged dog. Exhale, shoulders over wrists, knee into forehead. 2 more times. And then step the right foot to the front of the mat, followed by the left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up with a flat back, arms up overhead, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Feet are together, knees are together. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step, hop, or jump back to plank pose. Go straight into downward facing dog or take your vinyasa, moving through chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then finally, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your left leg high, spread the toes. As you exhale, shoulders over wrists, knee into forehead, round your back. Inhale, lift up for 2 more. Last one. And then we'll step forward with the right leg and forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands together. Exhale to your heart. On your next inhale, squeeze your legs together, sit low for chair pose. You really want to make sure that you're protecting your low back, so tuck your tailbone, activate your core, pull the navel in towards the spine. And as you inhale, come forward into forward fold. Bend your knees again, lift up for chair pose. We're going to take a twist here. The outside of the right knee is going to connect with your left elbow. Look out to your right. Make sure that your kneecaps stay in line. The tendency here is for the left kneecap to come forward. We don't want that to happen. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, right elbow come to the outside of the left knee. Make sure that your knees stay together. Sink your hips low. As you inhale, come back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank pose. We're going to take side plank, so bring the left hand in a little bit. Roll into the outer edge of the left foot. Stack your feet. Stay here, or you have the option to lift your right leg and maybe take a tree pose. Lift your hips up away from the ground. Stack your shoulders. And then on your next inhale, lift your right leg high, pull it in towards the chest as you bring your right foot towards the front of the mat. We're going to find warrior 1 here. So take 45 degrees with the left foot. When you rise up, look down at your left foot. Make sure that it's at 45 degrees. Sink low in the front leg, but you want to make sure that your right knee doesn't go past the ankle. Hips are facing forward. Now on your next inhale, take your left fingers to the outer edge of your right thigh. As you inhale, stretch longer out away from you. And then as you exhale, sink your right shoulder down into the torso. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to pivot on the back foot, so we're in high lunge now. The left heel is off the ground. As you inhale, come forward with the torso. As you exhale, hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Open up the arms. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down to the ground. Step back for plank, and we'll go right into our side plank on the other side. So right hand comes in a little bit. Turn onto the outer edge of the right foot. Stack your feet, lift your arms. Lift your left arm. Stack your shoulders. And then your option to stay here or maybe come into tree pose. You really don't want to put any weight on the actual knee there. You're just kind of gently placing it down. And then when you're ready, lift that left leg up into your chest as you slowly step forward, finding warrior one on the other side. So when you come up, look down at your right foot. Make sure your foot is at 45 degrees and make sure that you are wide enough apart with your feet so that your hips are facing forward. Sink low in the left leg, but not so low that the left knee comes in front of the ankle. Then on your next inhale, take your right fingers to the outer edge of the left leg. What this does is help to ensure that your hips are really facing forward, and it gives you a nice, good stretch here and a good stretch in the left calf muscle. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift the arm up, and as you exhale, sink the shoulder into the torso. Lift both arms up to the sky. As you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And we're going to lift up for high lunge. Take a deep breath in, get long through your spine. And as you exhale, come forward with the torso and hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee and open up the arms. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down into plank pose. Now hold here for a sec. And as you inhale, we're going to cross the right leg over the left. And then come down halfway with your elbows straight back behind you, and then push up. Uncross, cross the other way. Come halfway down, push up. Uncross, take downward facing dog. And then on your next inhale, come forward until you're almost on all fours. We want to just hover the knees for a sec. And then come all the way down onto the knees and sit up tall. From here, we're going to take the left foot out in front. Your right hip is going to be over your right knee. And on your next inhale, come forward with your fingers. Get long in your spine, and as you exhale, come forward as if you're in a forward fold. And then on your next inhale, we're going to swing that right ankle so it's in line with the right knee and begin to turn to the right. Coming into gate pose here. As you inhale, rise up, hands to your hips. Bring the left hand up and over the body. And then the left hand comes down. Right arm comes up and over. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, we're going to come back to the front. Begin to bend the front leg, and then lift the back knee up off the ground. Step back into plank pose, and then hover the knees over as if you're almost on all fours. Come down onto the shins and sit up. And take the right foot out in front. Your left hip is above your left knee. And as you inhale, come forward with your hands. Deep breath in, get long in the spine. Exhale, melt forward. And then on your next inhale, we're going to swing the left ankle so it's in line with your left knee. And then turn the upper body to the left and rise up. Right toes are pointed up to the sky. Your right leg is activated. On your next inhale, open up the arms. Take the right hand down to the right shin. Lift the left arm up and over. Inhale, come back to center. Left hand to the hip. Lift the right arm up and over. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to turn around. Begin to bend the front leg. Hands come down. Curl the left toes, lift the left knee, step back for plank, and hover the knees. Come down onto your mat. And then turn onto the side of your mat. We're going to take frog pose here. So open up your knees, and then look down behind you, and make sure that your ankles are in line with your knees. Bring your forearms down onto the ground. Just gonna breathe here for, let's go for 7 breaths. If you're working on splits, this is a really great pose. This is also really good for triangle, for dancer's pose, especially full dancers, for king pigeon pose, for standing splits, basically anything that has to do with flexibility in the legs. So just breathe here. If your mat's not particularly thick and this doesn't feel good on your legs, you can fold one edge of your mat like this, or even twice if you need it, and place it underneath your knees. Or if you have a blanket, you can do that as well. The best way to come out of this, I've found, is to send yourself forward. So pull forward with your forearms, and then bring your heels together, and then walk yourself back. Bring the knees together. Come into child's pose. Rest your head down onto the ground. Just take a moment to check in with how you're doing. Take a moment to arrive into this present moment, not worrying about what happened earlier, and not worrying about what's going to happen later. And on your next inhale, round forward onto all fours. Curl your toes and lift up for downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high, spread the right toes. Send the right foot to the front of the mat. Then rise up onto your fingertips. Spider your fingers forward and use your back body muscles to lift your left leg. Then with your left hand, reach back and make sure that your hips are even. So a lot of times the left hip will be pointed up like this, and the left toes will be out to the side. See if you can point your left toes down to the ground, and therefore bring your left hip in line with your right. Now you might need to have a yoga block down in front of you so you can rest your hands if you're very tight in this right hamstring. Otherwise, just stay here and hang out here, get as long as you can. So press out of the bottom of the left foot. Extend your spine, so you're reaching through the crown of your head, and then lift up with your fingers. So imagine that your arms are like straws and you're sucking up from the earth. On your next inhale, we're gonna drop back into high lunge, lifting the arms, and come into warrior two. So look at the outer edge of the left foot. It should be in line with the back edge of your mat. And then bring your hands to your hips. Feel that your hips are even. Take a look at your front thigh and see if you can visually turn your thigh so it's spinning up towards the sky. It's a very, very subtle movement. Look out over your right middle finger. Arms are long and strong. Draw your shoulder blades toward one another. Chest is open. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, float the left fingers down to the left leg, lift the right arm, look up, and then sink low in the front leg, but make sure your right knee isn't going in front of the right ankle. On your next inhale, come forward, right elbow to right thigh, lift your left arm up and over, get as long as you can. Look up at your left thumb, and as you inhale, come back into warrior two. Move through your vinyasa or meet directly in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your left leg high, spread the left toes. Super slowly, use your core strength to step your left foot up to the front of the mat. Come onto your fingertips, spider your fingers forward, then use your back body muscles to lift your back leg and then press out of the bottom of the right foot. Spread the toes, point the toes down to the ground. Use your yoga block if you need to. Keep a little micro bend in the left leg if you need to. And then pull up. So get as long as you can, and then pull up through your hands, imagining your arms are like straws. Don't let that back leg droop. Really press out of the bottom of the foot. Be strong here. And then when you're ready, super slowly step the right foot down to the ground, lift up for high lunge. And then we'll come into warrior two. Taking a look at the outer edge of the right foot, making sure it's in line with the short edge of your mat. Sinking low in the front leg, making sure the left knee is directly above the left ankle or slightly behind. Look out over your left middle finger. Draw your shoulder blades toward one another. Scan through your face, relax your face. Then bring the right fingers down to the right leg. Lift your left arm, look up. On your next inhale, bring the left elbow to the left thigh. Right arm comes up overhead. Look at the right thumb. And as you inhale, come back to warrior two. Windmill the arms down, go through your vinyasa, or meet in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, come onto all fours, and then sit down into child's pose for a deep breath here. On your next inhale, round forward onto all fours. We're going to come to sit down on the mat and extend the right leg. We're going to bend the left leg and bring the bottom of the left foot into the inner right thigh. Square your upper body over your right leg. Right toes point up to the sky. And on your next inhale, bring your fingertips down to the ground, long arms. Sit as tall as you can. And as you exhale, spider your fingers forward. Doesn't matter how far you get. Stage one is to stay here. Stage two, if you're very flexible in the back of the leg, you can bring your right arm to the inside of your right leg. And then swing your left arm up overhead as you turn your heart up to the sky. So you find this like rotation in your torso to open up the side body there. Look out underneath your left arm. Hang out there. Or stage three would be to grab the foot with your left hand, press into your right hand to lift up, coming into sundial pose. And I'll put a link below for sundial pose if you haven't done it before. You're going to look out underneath your left arm, press your right foot up to the sky, and then when you're ready, gently release. Wherever you are, release, and we'll take it to the other side. So we'll extend the left leg And bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Square your upper body over your left leg. Toes point up. Spread the toes. Take a deep breath in. Fingertips on the ground. And as you exhale, come forward. Really doesn't matter how far you get. You want to try to feel a connection between your thigh and your stomach. So instead of worrying about bringing your head down to the knee, think about having your stomach and your thigh connect. Stage 1, stay here. Stage 2, take the left arm to the inside of the left leg, and then swing your right arm up and overhead, finding space from the top of the right hip all the way through the body, breathing space in between the ribs. Look out underneath your right arm. And stay here, or stage 3 is to grab hold of the foot with your right hand, and then press into the left arm. Use your core strength to lift up. And look out underneath your right arm for sundial pose on the other side. Gently release. Wherever you are, release. Extend your legs out in front. Legs are mat distance. Remove the flesh from underneath. Arms out in front. And very slowly we'll roll down. And when you come down, bend your knees. Take your feet mat distance and let your knees droop in towards one another. Bring your hands to your stomach. Close your eyes. Take a moment to find your center. So breathe deeply into your hands, filling your lungs up with as much air as you possibly can. Then exhale through your mouth with a sigh, letting go of anything you're still holding on to. Then heel toe your feet so they're hip distance. Bring your knees hip distance. Lift your legs up. Open up your arms, palms facing up, and then super slowly press out of the bottoms of the feet. Keep your legs long and strong as you come all the way down for Shavasana, taking your feet mat distance. Letting your eyes close. And then scanning through your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And asking yourself to totally relax any part of you that's still feeling tension. Let your body just sink into the ground. Close your mouth, but part your teeth, and then let go of your attention to your breath and let your breathing come naturally. We'll be here for 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when Shavasana is complete. On your next inhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your right side. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. Take a moment to scan your body, just giving thanks for all the good things you have in your life, for your commitment to practice today. And when you're ready, seal in your practice with Namaste.